Welcome to the Foolcast. Cheers.
Yeah, I was just doing some editing today, kind of like a spec commercial. I'm trying to get some more like product videos in my portfolio right now because like I don't have any of that. Like, I have just skits.
South goes without the South on my watch!
Whatever in my portfolio and landscape stuff and travel videos. And so I'm trying to get some more variety, like product videos, so I can start like pitching my service to local companies here.
Yeah.
And so I'm doing this like coffee kind of spec commercial for this brand called Brewer's Choice. And he's based in the US. He roasts his own beans. He just orders them from all around the world. And he does like all of them. He's like super into coffee.
Yeah, I've met people like that. But anybody that owns a coffee shop, though, they're usually like super into what beans they're using and everything, and they know like it's a whole clique. It's its own thing. Once you're a coffee dude, you're a coffee dude.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, this guy is like obsessed with coffee, and I was like telling him, I got a Chemex, I don't know if you've ever used a Chemex. It's like a glass jar thing that you brew coffee in. You put a filter on top and then you pour hot water over top of it.
Okay, yeah.
He was like, you got to get this kind of Chemex and you got to get this kind of filter. And he's very specific. I was like, I just order whatever. I don't know. I'm not huge. Like I drink coffee, but I'm not huge into coffee. I thought I was until I started talking to this guy.
I told you, once you're a coffee dude, that's it. You're just a coffee person now. And I'm okay with coffee, but I don't want to get it to a point where I'm like super picky about everything I use to make coffee. And I don't, one a day is okay, maybe two.
So sweet filtered beet juice. It's like angels in a cup.
But I got like a Lazy Susan, one of those things. It's a mechanical one, so it rotates, and I have like I kind of put the coffee bean, like the package of coffee on there, and I set up the lights kind of nice, and I have the coffee rotating, so I can get different shots and angles from that, and get these like close-in shots of the beans and it rotating around. So it's pretty cool playing around with that.
It's cool too if you could get I don't know, wheel the camera around it too, like that.
Yeah.
Hard to set up though. If you get that at the same time, but even if you handheld that.
Yeah.
Getting some sort of handhelds, just moving shots, and it's just, then you have lots to edit with. So
Yeah.
I always joke about the whip pans. Just here, whip panny.
I was shooting with the GH4 at first, that is okay, but then I was comparing it to the Sony camera that I have, the A6500. I'm like, the GH4 is okay, and it's like one of the first 4K cameras that came out. But like when you realize how much rolling shutter there is, like if you make the you move a little bit, and it's like, holy crap! Like it's so jello compared to the Sony A6500. It's like, yeah,
true. Like, especially everybody was using these things to film on back in the day when, DSLRs are now shooting HD, and then it went to 4K. And the rolling shutter is it's kind of a huge thing, right? Like, you better just put a lot of cameras on a tripod.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, with the older cameras, for sure, it's better to just like have it stabilized somewhere. Like if it's not moving too much, it's okay. But you just even bump the tripod and you'll notice the rolling shutter. It's pretty bad. Like I was getting some shots, close-up shots with the GH4, and I bumped it a little bit. I saw the like whole frame, just like the whole thing rolled.
But just that like wave of goo, Yeah, that's not it. It's like my phone can do better pans.
Yeah, I know. You don't even, the phones nowadays are like crazy for like video and stuff and photos.
They have all the computational software in them, so they generally like just compensate. I mean, if you like dig down into the pixels, and you can see some blockiness in them for sure, but at the same time, there's some stuff that the phones do that old cameras can't do. And naturally, like if obviously you have the option with even those old cameras to get those nice stable shots too, though, and different lenses and you have more, I think, like you have more range with playing with light, even with a camera, than you do a phone, because you're still stuck with this tiny sensor, and what it can give you for whatever you're looking at is not gonna. There's no niceness to there's a lot of niceness to a lens, regardless of how old the camera is versus you got in a phone. I mean, obviously people have pushed phones to ridiculous amounts of skill levels nowadays, and they've made full feature films with them. But at the same time, it's what they put in front of it.
Yeah, for sure. You know what's crazy though? I have a Pixel 9 Pro XL, and it has a 10-bit color. It can record 10-bit color, and my GH4 doesn't even record 10-bit color. It's like 8-bit color. So
Most of my cameras still do 8-bit.
yeah,
Except for the Blackmagic or whatever I have there. The rest of them are just 8-bit.
which is fine if you're like, you got color graded anyways, and as long as it's not too crazy.
It matters 100%, and it matters if the budget you have calls for it.
Yeah, for sure.
Like if you're lighting this thing, I mean, yeah, naturally, like cinema camera is a cinema camera, and a photography camera is a photography camera, and that's how I put it nowadays. I mean, when we first started out, we knew that that's all we had, that's all you can really get, and that's what you use. Like I still use them, but if you're gonna do, you know, a bigger set or whatever, you need to make sure that the lighting's going to be nice, everything's sharp, not fooling off you're not losing any highlights, and the darks don't look all blocky, and you know what I mean. But at the same time, you can still do that with an 8-bit camera, so I think it doesn't.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's fine for most things. Like I'm helping out with this film in Victoria at the end of the month, and they were asking if I thought we should rent a red camera or whatever. I was like, no. Like I'm using my Sony camera and my GH. That should be fine for most things. And like if you have a budget, then yeah, sure, rent a red camera.
That's the point. Yeah, like if it's exactly that's the thing. What is the motive? Like, what is the outcome? Where, like, where is this project going? If you know where the project's going, then that's where you sort of build what you're going to use for it, right? Like, also, it's like, yeah, what's it for? What gear can I obtain for it? What's the outcome? Where is this going to be shown? That's when you start looking at whether you need more expensive gear or not.
Yeah, if it gets funding or something and we have, you know, a few $100,000 budget, then okay, yeah, we go rent all the lighting equipment and the red camera. But if you're just funding
The
it,
lighting's more important anyway, right? Like,
yeah, for sure.
ultimately. So yeah, but that's when but again, yeah, that once you're getting a bigger camera, you're having a different workflow.
Yeah.
You know, you're bigger files and a lot of them,
Yeah.
right? And it's more of a pain in the ass to edit. At the end of the day, as long as if there is a budget, then it makes sense to have the ability to take your time with the big files, and then you're gonna be working on that project, and once it's done, then you can move those files off because they're big to work with. I think for even like when I've maxed out the 6K Pro, you know, at the 6K highest settings, you know, like, and you see how much that takes up, and you plug it in to my hard drive, and I'm like, wow, it's a big portion of my hard drive just for that amount of film.
Yeah.
For video, right? I have like 3 hard drives, and even it bothers me to go through like different hard drives and like move stuff, and like, where am I going to work off of this one and then make a project off of this stack? I've had to delete some of the old stuff that I was finished, and I'm like, I'm not going to use this ever again. That's like so big.
Yeah.
So is that?
I'm kind of a data whore.
You are a whore. I'm not a whore. I'm a handsome companion.
I try to keep all of my projects because I hate like deleting them, and then I'm like, I go back and I'm like, oh man, I wish I had that because like, I want to kind of re-edit it. So I have most of the projects that I worked on, but there's a few that I've lost that I feel like, oh damn, I wish I had that. Like the Edward 40 Hands one, I'm like, oh man, I wish I had that. Like,
Could have tried to play with it somehow. Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd been funny.
I know, It was, yeah. And some of the skits too, like, and then we did a promo with Daryl back in the day with, what was it called? It was a Scuff Links or whatever, or
Yeah, that's right.
yeah, that one. And like, we shot a promo and I had so many good shots in that, and I would have loved to use that in like a demo reel or something like that. But I don't have it.
Dragon's Den or something, or what was it? Something like that. The Scufflinks guy. Didn't he go to like Dragon's Den and get laughed?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was what he.
Yeah. He was on Dragon's Den.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. But we got some really good shots in that promo, and I wish I had those files. And I never made a copy of them, which I should have. And there's a bunch of skits we shot that I don't have anymore. That, yeah, they're just gone forever.
Yeah, most of the stuff that I like, I will keep, you know. But yeah, if there's like these just huge files of, either I'll just keep the export, you know. Generally, I mean, to keep all those raw files, it's just like, man, there's just too many of them.
Yeah.
If it was for a skit like that was really liked, or like a good like a project that was worth keeping those files for, then yeah, I would totally just put them on a backup somewhere. But
Yeah.
I'm already bad with doing that. Like, I have so many photos that I'll never edit.
I know. My problem is I have too many files and I have duplicates everywhere. I'm like, I don't even know where to start reorganizing all of this. Like,
Yeah, that's it.
I don't know. It's tough.
It'd take forever just to like scan through some of the stuff that I have. A lot of the things that I will sort of take where I know things I've been using or going to, you know, and copying those off into a working area. And then I should probably delete those, but I don't. So I just let them be. Even though, so obviously making duplicates just for the sake of working. At the same time, it's kind of also a bad practice to sort of have these things everywhere. Because it's just taking up digital space.
Yeah, I noticed though, like, so I got a bunch of old GoPro footage from Thailand, which I've been cleaning up, and I'm processing it through like AI, through Topaz upscaling. And it's actually done a really good job, because some of it looks awful now. Like, I look back at it, I'm like, holy crap, like this is so like digital fragments everywhere. I'm like, this just looks awful. It's not even watchable. But then I threw it into Topaz a couple times and like played around with some of the settings, and it actually cleans it up pretty nicely. So that's one of the things I like about going through some of the older footage and upscaling it. Sometimes you get really weird. Like, I don't know if you've ever tried like photo upscaling as well. You can do that with photos as well. Topaz has a photo app, and some of the weird things they do, like they'll upscale and they'll do like face, kind of like almost like they're guessing what the face looks like. So sometimes it looks like a cartoon or something. It looks really weird.
Airbrushed, yeah, at the shit.
Yeah. So sometimes I'll just turn off that, like the face upscaling, because it looks funny. I'm impressed with the video upscaling. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's helpful when you need it. And I think the only thing I would use it for would be video upscaling. If I found a video that I need to like make a bit better. Again, definitely GoPro footage makes sense for that, because it is, you know, shot on a smaller sensor, and it is to a point when you look at it zoomed in, you can get, sometimes it's nice and smooth, there's nice lighting, but then it doesn't have very good dynamic range. So you see some like blocky areas, especially from the old GoPro footage, where it's like, yeah, you notice that you can see the pixels, you know, unless it has artificial grooming or something.
Yeah.
There was one shot in like one of the films we were doing where the guy goes in the water, and he has pushed in the water, and he has a GoPro on him. It looks so sick, right? Because you see him go in the water, and you see us pushing him in, and then the water splashes. Yeah, that was pretty sweet.
Yeah, I used to like using the GoPro for like creative shots like that.
Yeah, because they can fit places, you know, and they have a cage so they can go in the water easy.
Yeah.
You know, like, yeah, there's cages for other cameras, but it costs a lot of money, you know. Or you can do a makeshift one, but then you're dealing with the makeshiftness of it, and it's not exactly the most easy way to deal with a shoot when you can just buy a GoPro, you know, and now you can upscale it.
Yeah.
So it's like, there you go. Like, why not? As long as there's a decent amount of light, you can then, you can match it pretty well to other footage anyway. So
Yeah, I haven't actually seen a GoPro. Like, I haven't used a GoPro in years. I guess they're probably quite a bit better than when I have
but
one.
action cameras, just like, there's got to be some like really decent action cameras out there now, that I haven't really kept up on it, right? Like, just some that have some decent quality to them, and that you can use for those fun shots that you just, you're not going to risk destroying a big camera.
Yeah, I think Insta360 took over the action camera space quite a bit. Like, I think they're like quite a bit more popular now than
DJI too, right? Yeah, like
yeah, DJI as well.
those are like those little handheld. It's basically
Yeah, I saw a video recently of the new Insta360 that came out, and you can actually replace the lens cap part. So like, the 360 camera has this bubble lens, and if you scratch it before, you're screwed, or you have to send it in to get it repaired. But now they allow you to just remove them and pop on a new one. So
okay.
So it's nice because if you damage it, you're not having to send it in to get repaired. You can just do it yourself and pop on a new cap.
Those 360 cameras are such a niche, though. I think, like, in the sense that, like, that niche is a good way to say it, but you're sort of stuck with that point, that angle,
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't use it as a 360 thing. They use it as like kind of, you can point it this way, so like 2D video, and then you can shift it wherever you want it. So you're maybe recording yourself, but then there's something else in the frame that you want to focus on, so you can
Okay, so yeah,
flip around.
I've never used one, so that would just that just makes sense to me then.
Yeah, because like,
But
yeah,
the
the 360,
yeah, the area.
yeah, the 360 feature, I don't think a lot of people use that. I played around with it a bit, but it was kind of niche, and I don't know. I didn't get a lot of views on my videos, but
Yeah, but it's nice to see. Yeah, again, it's nice to have like a huge wide angle, right, to cut from, right?
yeah,
I think that's what's cool about it. All right.
yeah, and I think a lot of them record like, yeah, they record like super high res, so it's like each side records like at the same time for, I don't know, 4K or whatever on both sides. So well, yeah, it lets you go in and crop, and yeah, I don't know. I haven't had one in a while though.
Yeah, I remember having one of those. I had a gimbal for my phone, right? One of those DJI gimbals for the phone back in the day.
Oh yeah,
Can't track it. Osmo. I don't remember which one it was, the 2 or the 3. I can't remember.
yeah.
It was all right, but you had to set it up. You take your phone out, plug it in, get it attached to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like kind of irritating, but then they came out with that little just tiny gimbal camera that you just
The camera's like on top, right? It's a little tiny camera. It's
makes sense. It's just it's the same thing. Like it's just you don't have to put a phone on it. There's so many cameras now. Like everything's a camera. I remember in school, and they were, it was like elementary school, and they talk about spies, and they have these spy cameras. Like, whoa, that's so cool. Like, everybody has a spy camera now. Everybody has these, like, it's just like the technology of imagery is somehow, it just shows me that's probably how the universe is built somehow. If that's that quick, it's just how do you record stuff and then code it.
So, yeah, it's the world we live in now.
Yeah.
It's a camera everywhere. Yeah, we have this.
Never use this thing. It just sits here. It just sits here like this, doing nothing.
Yeah. What camera is that?
It's a 6K Pro.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Wide angle on there. It's not the sharpest, but it's okay. It gets a wide shot. Like, it just sits in there doing nothing.
Yeah,
It's heavy.
it shoots raw, right? Like, yeah, Blackmagic Raw or whatever.
Yeah, but it's such a beast of a camera to use. It's good for when you get a chance to use it, but it's not practical. Like any film camera, I think or not film camera, but like any cinema type camera, they're massive.
Yeah.
And you need a reason to be taking it out. It's not like you just take it out and then find something to shoot. You know what I mean? You could, but it's not the kind of camera. And I think that's why it just sits there most often. I'll just take other cameras out. I have my phone, right?
Yeah.
And when I just want to take photos, and I don't want to take much out, I just take this.
Something tiny, yeah. Yeah, I remember I had the first like Blackmagic cinema camera. It was like a micro.
I remember that.
But I didn't even really have a good rig for it. It was just like I had like a cage, but it wasn't the greatest for that.
Oh, you
camera.
made the original one.
Yeah, and it had like SSDs that you put in. I don't know, what does that use for?
Yeah, it uses two. It uses well, it uses three. I have flash, and I have an SSD for it as well. Yeah, CFast.
Oh yeah, CFast.
Yeah, 2.0 CFX, whatever the name of that is, CFast, but it's like the different version, faster, smaller version, I guess. I don't know what it is, if that's true. And the old CFast cars are a bit different, right? They have like
It's like a little pins.
they had little Sensor ones, right? This one doesn't. This one's like more like this one looks more like a Super Nintendo thing, you know, like click it in.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I still have a few older CFast cards around from my Canon 70. I think that's the one that used it. But yeah, I remember, when I got the Blackmagic cinema camera, SSDs were so expensive back then.
They're still expensive.
Yeah. But I think I only had like 120 gig SSD for that.
Don't even know how to put this thing back in. Right way here. Brilliant. It like doesn't want me to record on it anymore. Insert. I'm trying to. I think it's just.
What size is the CFast card that you have?
It's a smaller one. It's 128 gigs. But I got a terabyte on an SSD.
Yeah, imagine if we had all this gear back in the day.
I know, it would be funny.
Filming skits like
Skits?
this.
Yeah.
Although we wouldn't be able to edit it.
No, the computers wouldn't work.
Yes.
I remember you had a GH2 back in the day, and we filmed something with it with Jeff back in the day. I think we filmed it at the rented studio we had for a bit there.
Oh yeah.
There was some. Don't worry, just shot him because he touched something or whatever. I bought this. I found it for like $100 or something like that. I found it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you got it hacked too, right?
Yeah, I got hacked with some hack. I'm not sure it's the highest bitrate one, but I don't really care. I'm like, I care. I hacked it somehow. I still think it's funny, but like the photos on it suck.
One of my favorite skits we did was at social services.
Yeah, it's still one of the best ones. Yeah.
Well, Mom, I'm hungry! Well, you should have thought of that before you decided to plaster me in your meal. Maybe I'll just phone social services. What was that, Jimmy? Maybe I'll phone social services on you guys! Go ahead. See where that'll get you.
Yeah. It's so dark.
Yeah, it's great though. It's classic.
I love dark humor.
Right with up, boys. We have a young girl whose brother stole a Barbie.
Yeah.
I think that's what, like, you and I really connected because I was like, I love the dark humor. I don't know, maybe it doesn't connect with everybody, but you and I were like, oh, let's just do some crazy skit.
Yeah, but like I mean, like at the same time, sometimes it's like it's not about. Well, it is about making people laugh, but at the same time, it's about making ourselves laugh.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know, and it's just stuff that like came up. You know, if I come up with an idea, then I want in it. If I get a chance to make it real, then let's do it. I was like that everybody was into that though that day to make that film happen. That was funny. Just some good preparation with it. I think, you know, once we realized that it wasn't as hard as what we thought it would be to make, I think it started to get really easy when when the oatmeal was being tossed at Jeff.
No, Jimmy, don't.
For sure. Yeah, let's spare him, get little boy.
Yeah.
No, those are good times. Just going out and filming whenever we felt easy. The crew to get together, a bunch of people to.
There's only a couple people here that I met, or even recently that are, like, I mean, in the past too, a little bit. Like I was making a films for a bit. They all moved away. I fell out with another friend too that was helping me for whatever reason. There's like one other guy that we're gonna film me skateboarding because I'm learning to skateboard. I'm 41.
Yeah, nice.
A skateboard, and I've been skateboarding a bit here and there. So you can like watch me like do all the same things you start learning how to do, and like watch an old man fall down a bunch.
Do a kickflip.
Yeah, eventually that'd be sweet, wouldn't it? Just want to do basic stuff. I don't want to do any fancy tricks. It's just like as long as I can ride around and pop the board around once in a while, you know?
Yeah.
All right.
Don't break any bones.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I got knee pads.
Yeah, sweet.
It'd be interesting.
Yeah, it's always fun to learn new things.
It's also healthy, like, because for balance and things like that, and keeping your legs in shape and having a good equilibrium somehow.
Yeah, I've always been into. I actually thought about getting back into like hockey because I played hockey as a kid. They have a league here. Well, not a league, but it's just like drop-in hockey once a week. But you need full equipment.
Of course you do, yeah. It's the expensive thing about hockey, right? You have to like get all the gear and padding and sticks and...
Yeah. Like a cheap stick nowadays is like, a couple $100 or something like that.
Yeah, right, because they're built, yeah. Like
but they're like feather light. Like when I was a kid playing, they're wooden and they weighed like they're heavy. You can knock somebody out with those. But
if you want to buy a pro one, they're different though, you know? If you want to buy the ice, like the decent ones, they're like metal shaft and then wooden bottom, right? Like,
yeah. But nowadays,
shaft, what you call
I
it?
held one. You could hold it with one finger. Like it's crazy how light they are.
That's like, it's like how tennis rackets got. I remember as a kid playing with tennis rackets and they're kind of had some weight to them, eh? Like, and then they just became these big rounded featherweight things.
I saw a video today. Is like some kids are doing interviews with these kids on the street, and they're like, what year do you have to be born to be considered old? And the kids were like, if it starts with 19 anything, you're really old. I was like, what? So they're like, what? So 1999.
I'll show you what they did in the 90s. Get my belt.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny to think about that. There used to not be phones in your hands. You're one of those people, huh? You grew up without a phone? What's wrong with you? Well, we had phones. They were just attached to things.
To the wall.
Just a string to the cord. You had to move it around. There was a cord on it. I mean,
you barely see phone booths around anymore.
I visited my friend in Great Britain and in England, and they have them there, but I don't think they work. Yeah. It's like the red ones. There might be some at work. There was, when I've seen a few of them. I think they're just for like attraction in a lot of the places. I never went in one to see.
It's like a tourist attraction. People go in there and take pictures.
Go in there. It's like an actual working phone. I'd be surprised. It's just a straight line to the Queen, except she died. So then straight line to Charles. Yeah. I was like, yes, sir. That's what these are for.
I don't think they'd keep them around in Canada. The bums would be hanging out in the phone booths.
Still remember that. Like I remember the Bay Center downtown had a bunch of them in it. I remember like you'd go to the swimming pool and they'd have payphones in there. They'd have payphones in like at every location that you would be, and you could use one and call someone.
They used to rob us back in the day. Like it was like 50 cents a minute to call somebody. Like it's ridiculous. I think it was even more like if you had to make a long distance call. I remember like being broke and like I wanted to call my brother that lived at my grandma's place, and I'd call collect and like hope that they accepted my call.
Charges.
Yeah. It would say, do you accept the charges? You have a call from Dylan. Dylan, accept the charges?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. I felt like so self-conscious about that. I'm like, oh, charge up my grandma's phone bill, but I want to talk to them.
So, yeah, I mean, what else are you going to do? Those phone booths are rip-offs either way, so. Yeah. I was like, I remember there were some places back in the day, it was a quarter, and it started counting down your time. Some of them are like 3 or 4 or 5 minutes, depending on which one you're at, and they have like a little counter on it. It's like counting down how much time you had left. It's like, oh crap, I got this much time. Interesting now too. It's like I have all this technology around that I dreamed of as a child that I thought would never exist, and now it exists.
I know. Yeah, and you can do like, it's crazy these special effects you can do. And like I was working on a project. It's like a fundraising project for somebody, and they sent me all the footage to edit, and then Some of the drone footage that they sent me, I couldn't use because of legal purposes, because it showed houses or whatever. So I was kind of limited for the B-roll and drone footage that I could use. But they sent me some photos to kind of place in the edit. I was like, well, I don't really want to just zoom in on the photo or like pan across on the photo. It looks kind of just, it doesn't look great. So I threw it into some AI software to render it, and I can zoom in on it, and the trees are moving, and like it looks like you're actually like zooming in or like dollying into the forest because everything's moving.
Yeah.
And it just made the shot so much better than just the static photo. It was nice. And so I used that a couple times with some photos, just a simple thing, taking a photo and putting it in through AI software.
Makes sense.
Just adding in some.
That's what AI should be there for, right?
Yeah, it's just a tool, a helpful tool. It's nice.
It's interesting too. I mean, people like to badmouth AI a lot, and I get it. I think there's a lot of things or a lot of skills and skill sets that people have out there that are going to be replacing you.
Yeah.
Again, at the same time, if you want to not get replaced and just use them, I'm not saying use them as different if it's the replacement, but that to show that actually you require a person of this mindset in order to use it properly. Because it's even when you look for code or anything on it, you still know what you need it for. You know what I mean? If you don't know what you need, if you ask it to write you a program and you don't know anything about programming, try and figure it out.
Yeah, and if there's something broken in it, and you're like, I gotta fix whatever they missed, then there's no point. That's why I don't even try to code, because I don't code with AI, because I know I can do it, but then if there's a problem, I wouldn't know how to go in and fix the code. So I use it for stuff that is useful for me, like the photos and...
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, I also use it to sort of narrow down information too, and just sort of get some information down. And then also, like, if I feel like there's something wrong with this paragraph, I'll ask it to re-summarize it. Not summarize it, but like give me a better suggestion on how to formulate it. And then it'll give me kind of close to what I want, but I'll find something new from it, and it'll reformulate what I articulate better. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's really good at finding other words, and then as long as you know those words, then it's fine to use, because you can then at least reframe it how you would use those words, and also cleans up some grammatic errors sometimes.
Yeah, definitely helps.
So there's also that.
Yeah, like quickly just have it built in, like Gemini's in my Gmail, so I can have it quickly, rewrite a sentence or rewrite even a paragraph, and just so it makes more sense. Maybe I wrote it quickly and check to make sure the grammar's proper. And
yeah, that's what I do too, because sometimes I write quick. If I write really quick too, I might have like missed a word or something, or forgot like a spacing, and I read it the way I thought it should read, but I technically grammatically I screwed up somewhere.
Yeah.
If I don't, I generally proofread what I send out anyway, so like I can fix it. But it's much easier to see something proofread you things much quicker than me having to do all that work as well. I'm not saying you shouldn't try very hard to write properly. You should, but at the same point, if you're writing a lot of stuff, you want to get it out quick, or you have like something you want to send somebody and you don't want any errors in it.
Yeah.
Do it quick,
Yeah, one thing I worry about is like, is this going to make us dumber? Because like, are we going to just like write out some garbled mess and just be like, okay, AI, fix it. And then we don't even know how to write properly because we just like rely so much on AI to fix everything for us. And like,
the worst part of it, and so the worst part of it, how I see it, is that we're giving AI to a generation that's already living off screens, right? So people before it are the only ones that, not the only ones, but a mass majority that grew up having to do the work and read and go to the library and figure things out for themselves. What we'd have to look up, we'd have to find.
Yeah.
Now there's this. I just go on here and I find everything.
Yeah.
right? And I'm not saying you can't find books probably helps too, but again, the same point. There's a lot of misinformation on here as well as decent information. Now we have AI that people are holding to a fair amount of truth.
Yeah.
And
AI can still hallucinate.
yeah,
It's not perfect, so you can't 100% rely on everything AI puts out.
and that we have children now. We have the generation that are growing up with screens, right? And AI, and maybe not learning how that stuff works, but just learning the outcomes of that stuff.
Yeah.
Right. And what that next generation looks like. It's a dumb down. And then we got Idiocracy, the movie. Kind of something like that.
Yeah, I guess I haven't seen Idiocracy, but I actually heard something a couple days ago about Idiocracy and how during the filming of that movie, they were talking about how they were like looking for a shoe that they can use in the frog. Yeah, and they had no idea. They approached this. I guess there's a brand that hadn't, they haven't put their brand out yet, and they're like, they chose that because it was cheaper, because it wasn't established yet, and they're like, well, these are dumb. Nobody's ever gonna wear these anyways, so we'll probably put them in the film, and nobody will see them ever again. But like, it actually exists now, and people walk around with Crocs. They just live it on that time.
They're so simple though. They're like the flip flop, somehow they replaced the flip flop with somehow Crocs. And so I'll keep the flip flop.
Yeah, I saw somebody 3D printed some Crocs. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, you could probably do that. I have a 3D printer. I guess if I get some, the right rubber material or whatever. Yeah, that
I
movie.
wonder if it'd be cheaper that way, or is it gonna be the same?
Stupid. It's time consuming. You ever had any idea how time consuming these things are?
I have no idea. I've never used a 3D printer before.
Like, there's also the UV ones, which are more accurate, but it's it's all this chemical stuff, So you have this bath where you have the bottle in there and then put the scan in, and then you have this liquid. I've never used one myself, those ones anyways. And then it just starts using UV to harden up the areas based on that 3D model. And so then it comes out more accurate, and then you got to wash it off. So it's a bit in the process of cleaning it. The one I have is just an element or filament, so just material that comes off a spool, and it goes through a extruder. It heats up and then just melts it in like lines and circles, and then just from layers it up. If you need to build overhangs and things like that, you can have support materials, but those are annoying too sometimes, because you have to like break them off. You have to like get them right and set them up right. There's some presets that might work, might not work. So if I do find it nice though, because I have, done some 3D models and then transferred them over, and then put them on Kira, and then exported them off, and then put them onto 3D print, like just made models that I've designed myself, which is just kind of fun. But it takes forever to bring that stuff out. So it take hours just to make a little, like something, like that big
little piece.
You want to wait a day, you can have something like this, So you gotta have some patience and like let the thing run for days. It's like you might come back and you might miss it. It might be screwing up because it like overheated, or like the extruder was broken or whatever, or you forgot to put enough filament in, and it's just been doing nothing for like hours. They're not too complicated to use, but they're
just time consuming.
They're time consuming.
Yeah, I've always wanted to play with one.
You can get an okay one for a couple $100. That's what I have. I think I paid it for like $240 or something like that for this one. I've had it for maybe a couple of years now. I used some before when I was working in this like European exchange program thing. They had like I was for students that would come in and grades and whatnot. And I was like, as I worked there, I guess a mentor. I don't know what you'd call me, something like that. And one of the things we did, or they had a lab there where you built a 3D printer and then printed with it. It was pretty cool. And that's my first experience with a 3D printer. And that was years ago, like 2017 or 18.
Yeah, that would be fun to play with. I've seen I remember when they first came out, people were worried because you could 3D print a plastic gun or whatever.
Can technically,
yeah.
And how many people go out of their way to do that? You might as well just like go on Amazon and buy a gun. Like,
Yeah.
it's like an airsoft gun anyway. I don't know what the U.S. Amazon's like. Can you buy a gun on Amazon?
As U.S., I wouldn't doubt it.
Like, I don't know.
U.S. like
Nuts over there, eh?
yeah,
What a joke that guy is. Imagine being that guy. Just thinking that you're top shit, right? Like, I'm the top shit, you know? And he posts himself as like a muscly Jedi on like May 4th. You see that?
Yeah, I saw that. And then I saw it on Twitter, and then somebody said, don't the bad guys have the red lightsabers? I was like, yeah, the Sith. They have the bad guys have the red lightsabers.
It doesn't even get it. He doesn't, you know, he's just such a tweet. Like, I don't know what he is.
He wishes he was muscular.
I don't know if there's some, you know, it's really hard to, well, it's not even that hard. It's just, I wonder how, there used to be some sort of shroud of like secrecy and thought-provokingness of what a government was when I was growing up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that there's stuff that they were doing behind the scenes, and, you know, this is how countries work and this and that. And I'm like, man, you see Donald Trump and Elon Musk, it's like, what club are they in? Like, because it's just, I don't know, there's no dignity to it, right? It's like, it just seems so undignified. It seems like these guys are just fucking shitting around for the sake of it. And it doesn't make sense to me. Like, do they care about people at all? No, they're fucking narcissists, and they're running the fucking government. Like,
Billionaires running the government. That's crazy to me. They got enough people fooled, so.
They don't care about those people. They just care about their agendas. They have stuff they want to do. Clearly, we know that Elon Musk, he wants to go to Mars. He wants to be a spaceman.
Yeah.
Well, Trump, I don't know what he wants to do. Just Trump around. That's what he does, you know? I don't know. I've never met the guys. It'd be interesting to just like talk to them. What do they think? And see what they see on TV, but it's a joke because we know it's a joke on TV.
Yeah, one thing that surprises me how quickly Elon Musk has tarnished his name and his company. Tesla used to be this like brand that was like, I don't know, so many people liked, and they believed in it. And then he started lying about like his self-driving and, oh yeah, it's coming next year. Like 2015, he's like, yeah, it's a year away. And then like the next year, oh yeah, we're like 6 months away. And it's 2025, we still don't have self-driving. And it's like, now he's doing all this government stuff, and Tesla's just like tanking, and yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, but it's just saying with the him as a personality too, because I think in the past, you know, he was kind of cool. Like, he was like, oh, this guy is running all this, you know, he's running the space agency. He's got like the coolest electric car on the block. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he always had some sort of post online that made him seem kind of dignified and wise. Right? And then the more he talked, the more he's been speaking, the less dignified he looks, and the more Nepo baby he looks. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't
sure.
tell you, like.
Yeah. The more he's like involved with the government and all this crap, it really ruins the image of Tesla, I think. And like, I even wanted a Tesla back in the day. Like, that's the vehicle I really want.
Yeah, I
But
kind of
now,
wanted one too. I thought they were kind of interesting. Now I don't want anything I don't want a driving cell phone. I don't know. I'll wait till like the hydrogen fuel cells come over here, you know, and see what those are doing.
yeah. And, you know, I think his agenda is like have a subscription model for everything with Tesla too. Did you see the Black Mirror episode recently? There's like a Black Mirror episode where the lady has some sort of, I can't remember if it's like a brain surgery or something like that. And they put in a chip in her head, but like the company is so corrupt. They like charge you. They have like a service area for your brain. And she's like driving out of town for a trip, and all of a sudden her brain shuts off. And she's like, looks like she's dead. And then the husband drives back. And once they're in the service area, she wakes up again. It's a messed up episode of Black Mirror. But It's like they want to make a subscription model for everything, and like I wouldn't doubt if the U.S. someday has like, well, I guess it's kind of like that already. If you don't have money, you're screwed in the U.S. Like you don't get healthcare. So
Yeah, it's just like if you go even further back, right? You want to go to a movie like even RoboCop, like they had those commercials on the side there, like that would just show you the whole capitalist enterprise of like buy this new heart. This is maybe covered by your your local whatever healthcare company or whatever the cheapest. If you look at that, it is really just mirroring reality that's how healthcare works in the United States, especially. It's just like it's a sales model. These are things that we will sell you so we can make profit, not that we can help you.
yeah, for sure.
It's I don't know. It's sad.
Yeah, it's one of the things where like I'm happy to be in like Canada where, my dad recently had a surgery, and I couldn't imagine. Like, he had to have emergency surgery because he had appendix burst on him. So like, imagine if he was in the States, he'd be like, you'd have to pay it'd be a huge bill. Like he walked out of there, had a couple days in the hospital and surgery, and he had nothing to pay. Like he was, yeah.
Yeah, I think even in the States, they do the operation. It depends on where he was and which hospital, right? But they would do the operation, I assume, but then bill you.
Yeah.
And then where does that? Where the fuck does a medical? What happens if you don't pay that there?
Yeah.
All right, like I wouldn't know what you would do.
If you owned a house, maybe they take your house.
I don't know. I guess so. I suppose you have to figure out either a debt collection or like a payment plan, or what was it? I would not know how you would deal it over there.
Yeah.
That's insane. In Germany, it's the same. Like you don't like like Canada, right? Healthcare here is covered through an insurance. It's also covered through an insurance system, but if you don't have money, the government pays for it. So they do have everyone's insured. So you don't walk around uninsured.
Even as like a Canadian, are you ever gonna get like German citizenship?
I applied for dual citizenship.
Oh, dual citizenship.
Like it's like up to a 3-year waiting list. I should have done it way back. I was like, before they might even get to it. But I'm not going to give up one or the other. So I'm like, it's either both or not. Both are just one, right? So
Yeah.
And I have a residence permit here. They have the same laws and everything. I just can't vote. But like realistically,
That's the only difference, yeah. Yeah, it's kind of like Canada too. Yeah, if you have permanent residence here, you can pretty much, you get same benefits, but just you can't vote, so similar.
that was a close one there, in Canada.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, with the election. Of course, I'm in Alberta. It's like super conservative here.
Yeah, right.
They're very pro conservative. So I don't talk about politics when I'm here because like I know I would be like outnumbered. It'd be like I went to a little like party before the election and they were asking me, "Oh, who are you voting for?" I didn't even want to talk about it because I was like, I don't want to be teamed up on. It's like, yeah, but yeah, I don't care who they vote for or whatever. I mean, it's up to them, but.
Yeah, and I think the issue here, it was just close. It was really close that like had a different representative come out for the Liberals, right? Then they wouldn't have got back in.
Yeah, probably not. If it was Trudeau, because everybody started to hate on him. And then I think Carney, he's like kind of an established guy, like with the Bank of Canada and all that stuff. So I think people trust him a little bit more to make some changes. Do you still use like Adobe software? Like, do you pay for the subscription, like for Photoshop and all that?
Just for Photoshop.
For Photoshop, do they have all those like AI fill stuff? Have you played with any of that stuff?
Yeah, I've used some of the AI stuff a little bit. It's okay. It works all right. In all honesty, I don't need anything better than it. Like, I think it's fine if I need it. I played around with some of the like, generate AI stuff where you can like make a monster or like just like make a person here or something, or take away these trees or add some trees here. Or, you can play with it all you want. Sometimes I use it like, but not as often as I thought I would. It's just, if there's an image where I think about it, I'm like, oh, actually, this would work well. What would be nice though is using it for if you want to like change backgrounds and things like that. If you're in films like that, if you just want to like cut out parts of it and use images to just sort of fill in areas of the footage to like make a more, I don't know, more dilapidated area in like a zombie movie or something like that. You know what I mean? You can definitely cut out parts and then amplify parts in other areas really quickly if you really needed to.
Yeah, I know they have some of that stuff like generative fill for Premiere as well. I haven't played with any of that, but like I've seen some demos of it where you can, if you have like gaps in your footage where there's like a few seconds missing where you wanted to connect two spots, you can just like basically get it to fill in that gap and create video that's similar.
I just something to close make it smoothly connect, basically. Yeah. There's so much options out there now for basically doing automatic anything.
Yeah.
I love it how people call it AI, but it's not. It's just like automatic.
Yeah.
Like it's not intelligent. Really.
Well, AI is just like a buzzword that it is for everything, really.
Yes, it is kind of artificial, except it's not intelligent. It's like, I get it, AI, artificial intelligent, but why don't we just call it like, I don't know, input automation? Like, I don't know, something like that.
I think just everybody wants to use the word AI because it's like, it's the buzzword of right now. So they just paste it onto everything. But
to make it self-aware, then I'll agree that it's AI.
Yeah. Once it's self-aware, though, who knows? Maybe they'll just take over. Maybe we'll be better off. Who knows? I was talking about like that with somebody about like self-driving and stuff. Like I'm like, a lot of people don't trust like especially anybody older. They don't trust a car driving itself. But I'm like, you trust half of the humans driving? Like some of them are just horrible drivers. I'm like, they shouldn't be on the road anyways. Like, you see the drivers out there, it's just like, at least the AI would be consistent. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that's an iffy one. I don't know. Self-driving cars, I don't think I've seen people I know try them out. You know, it's pretty funny, like taking one from an airport to somewhere, you know. Also seen the video of a guy getting stuck in one, just going around in circles. But yeah, also car crashes with cab drivers, so it's fine. It's true, it's hard to tell. I think I personally think it makes more sense in the long run to fire every single truck driver in the world, right? Have a lane for AI trucks.
Yeah.
They should just be trains anyways.
Yeah.
Like AI trains shooting cargo from one place to the other. But
yeah,
no,
24/7.
You have a truck lane and getting all these accidents on the road all the time. It makes no sense to me. Why?
Truck drivers falling asleep at the wheel and stuff.
And what is it for? It's an old way of transporting goods that just hasn't died.
Yeah.
I understand there's jobs involved and stuff like that. I get it. There's for all kinds of people there's jobs they shouldn't be doing. And the only reason that people get angry is because they're taking my job. And I'm like, humanity doesn't need you to be a grocery store attendant. You know, you don't need to bag people. You know, you don't need to do that.
Yeah, we actually
Do
don't
something
have
better with your existence. Like,
we don't even have bag boys anymore. I don't know if you have them in Germany, but
no,
like,
God never did. They don't.
like,
dude.
I don't remember the last time I went to actual clerk at a grocery store because it's all self-checkout now. Like, it's mostly self-checkout, and there's a couple of stations where people are bringing your stuff through. But like,
there's more self-checkouts now here too. But so there's still a lot of cashiers. And when I first came here, cashiers were unbelievably different than in Canada. You put your stuff on the thing, and then you start throwing it You got to be quick. You got to catch that stuff, stick it in your bin as it's coming. Like, you got to make sure you're on top of that, because they'll look at you crazy, and the people behind you will be looking at you crazy. Like, why aren't you picking that up? You know, you just get that stuff into your cart and deal with it, and then pay and get the fuck out so the next guy can come in. And they don't stop, man. They don't talk. There's no chit chat. They just forget it's. That's it. Pay and fuck out.
Efficient.
And you have to buy your bags. There's no free bags. I think you do that in Canada too, right?
Yeah.
Bags, yeah.
You have to buy, there's no plastic bags anymore. Just the reusable bags. You either have to bring your own bags or you have to buy some. There's a few times I'm just like, I forget to bring my bags and I got to buy a couple new bags. So no,
I always bring my backpack. It's the best way to do it. If I go grocery shopping with the car, then I bring a bunch of bags and just stick them in the car and truck the cart. Yeah, even food's gotten up prices here. When I first came here, you could get like a week's worth of groceries for like $50. 50 euro, and just like a cart full of stuff. Now it's not. Like, now it's like 100. Maybe like between, depending on how much you buy, between 70 and 80. I'll pay at least, and that's just the one shop, and you're still going back and forth to the store to get random stuff. But still, I think that's still cheaper than Canada, though.
Yeah, it is pretty expensive here for food. It's crazy. Yeah, but it's gone up everywhere. I was in Thailand, and everything's gone up there. Like, hotel is still pretty cheap there, but like food and everything's gone up there. Yeah, it's everywhere I've gone, it's.
I went to in Albania. Albania is like supposedly the poorest country in Europe, right? And when I went there, yeah, it was a good deal on an apartment and stuff like that. But when I went to the grocery store, it costed more than here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was like, no way. I was like, no way. Like, that's how you stay poor. You can't fucking afford food. Like, crazy, man. And yeah, and the average income is like super low, and that's how much food costs. I mean, it wasn't super expensive, but comparatively to here. But I think it's just in that capital city.
It's still not bad here in Alberta compared to like Victoria. Rent-wise anyways, food I think is pretty similar. We're a little bit cheaper here, but yeah, it's one of the reasons I moved away from Victoria a while back is like, I can't afford to. It's insane, the rent prices there.
It's been a while since I've been there, and I'm sure it's gone up way more than when I was paying them.
Yeah, I heard of somebody paying like $1,600 for a bachelor suite in Victoria. Like, that's just a bachelor suite. That's insane. That's
brutal. I remember when like $700 was brutal for a bachelor suite. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now it's that much. More, I want to go skateboarding after work.
Nice.
That was the plan. Have them record me fall down.
Where do you go to skate? Is it like a skate park or like this?
There are a few, but there's also a few parks that have some nice flat ground, pavement. If you know German, and the ground most places is not flat. It's like rocky, and they have like the stone, I think is the word. And it's just if you go to city centers or even a lot of the roads, they have this, and it's just stones over stones. It's like you're not going to be. It's even hard to ride your bike on that, let alone skateboard. But there are some places, yeah. And there are a few skate parks around too as well. That once I get a little bit better at riding the board, I might check out.
Have you been filming anything lately, or just doing photos?
Yeah, mostly just take photos. I had I filmed it. My friend will probably film this skateboarding or whatever of me trying to make it funny or whatever. I came up with some ideas for some skits. I've been writing a bit. I started learning how to use Godot, which is a game engine. I wrote a game, or I've been writing the game. So it's just a storyline that I want to pursue, which is, it's funny, it's comedy, obviously. It's a stupid game. But I want to learn how to, use the engine while I'm designing itself and the characters, and try to see how to incorporate my designs into that. Godot is kind of an easy one to learn. You can do 2D or 3D. So I had this idea for a 2D game, or when I was playing another 2D game that I found really interesting, and just different, like to have the same kind of physics, but make it more of a comedy and have it more turned level based and sort of story based. So I've been designing the characters and writing the storyline a little bit. We'll see how that goes.
Sweet. Yeah, I haven't gotten into making games. Mostly just playing them. Play on PS mostly.
Yeah, I was supposed to finish making a music video. I was making a music video with another friend, but he's really not around much. So I don't know, he's just off doing something. He's hard to end with, really. Yeah, I got some video of him, but I need some more better shots for his music. What else?
That's one thing I wish I did more of is music videos. You know, I just did the one music video that I wasn't even very well planned. It was just kind of run and gun sort of style. We didn't plan what we were going to do with that music video. I would like to do one where I actually planned out some shots and like figured out a video we were going to do.
Yeah, that's
fun.
And that's what I've been doing with this guy, except like trying to get explain the shots. He's like, yeah, he's down for the shots. But it's just like getting to the point of meeting at that place to do it, and it's like, I don't know, it hasn't get right. At some point I got to get him out there, but he's hit and miss and trying to get a hold of him.
Yeah, I want to do lately I've just been doing I'm working on this like little coffee ad, but I had an idea of there's a local shop here looking for somebody to do product shots, and like I'm gonna try to get that, at least do a little demo for them. I'm planning to go in there and like pick up a few of their products and do some demo shots and send it into them and hopefully get some work with them. Which, yeah, that would be fun to do. But I got to finish up this little coffee ad first, which I kind of been procrastinating on because at first I was trying to implement AI shots with it, but it wasn't really working. I was like, okay, I'm just going to give up on the whole AI thing, trying to implement that in with the real shots and just do the straight ad with the coffee. Forget about the AI shots because
do some of your shots, right? And then just take the still at the end where you want it, then do AI and then and then reverse it back and then go back into the shot.
My plan was I was going to have this little story beforehand, which was all AI shots. It had like a woman waking up, getting ready for a night shift. And then she needed to get coffee, and then she's walking down the street. She sees all these people standing in front of a sign, and it's like the brand of coffee. And it's kind of like,
I really just get it to do like whole live action for you.
Yeah, so that was the plan. I actually got all the shots I wanted, but I couldn't connect it with what I had shot. So I was like, it doesn't really work. Like I was trying to fit it together. I was like, I don't know. I'm just going to give up on that whole idea and just only do the shots that I did.
Yeah, because you have to find some sort of transition, right?
Yeah, it would have to transition somehow into the shots of the coffee that I did. And I was like, I'm just going to give up on that whole idea because
unless you could like have the coffee cup in her hand, right? And zoom right into the inside to the cup somehow, and then just show liquid and then zoom out and then show the beans. I mean,
yeah.
If you could
just transition it somehow. Yeah, I don't know.
Quick. Yeah, but like trying to go into the actual coffee itself that she's holding, she's looking for it and then she finally gets it. And then you show how good it is by going into it and then showing it and then come out into the actual coffee product.
Yeah.
If you could zoom into the cup where she's holding it and use those products like she's actually on the way to get it. She's found it. Now show what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it might work. I don't know if I'll do that one because I kind of want to get this one out. And I've been playing around with that AI idea for like a month now. And I'm like, I just want to get something out so that I have it on my demo reel or like on my website so that I can get more, exposure, local kind of exposure and
yeah, for sure.
Get some more jobs that way. But like with AI, it's kind of cool because like, I remember when it first came out, like it was hard to get consistent character. So like you can generate one character. If you try to generate that same character again in another shot, it would be like she would look totally different or he would look totally different. But now it actually became easier to like generate the same character in different scenes.
Tell it to use the same character, right?
Yeah, and you can kind of generate multiple scenes or multiple shots with that same character in it. So that's a good thing about it. Yeah, we'll see.
I guess
I wouldn't mind
the promo stuff material too that you're sending the person. Wouldn't they need like kind of different versions, right?
Yeah, I could always, I can make multiple versions of that.
Instagram versions and normal size versions and story versions. And I remember doing that. Like, I was a guy, they had this drink. It was like a mate drink that they had here. It's like a tea kind of drink that they were trying to come out with. And I did some work for them. And pay much because they had like no money because there's like a new drink, right? Yeah. We were just trying to bring it up and trying to establish it, and I'm not sure it worked, but it was a cool idea. The drink did taste freaking good at first, like it wasn't sweet enough. But some people like that. I don't. I wanted it to be sweet and fizzy, but it was all right. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't my thing. But the logo they had was really cool. Like the branding they had was really cool. We even paid for me to go to Berlin to film some of it there, and then I did some in my house and just took photos and went to the park, took shots of like the product and did some promo videos, and I realized how bad my promo videos were when I didn't light this properly, but it ended up looking okay. Like they weren't terrible videos. It wasn't up to my standard, but they were pretty good.
Well, that's one thing I'm learning a little bit more of is lighting. Like that's a whole other world of learning how to light a scene and everything, or light products. There's a lot to it.
It's tricky in that you only learn it by doing it. So you just sit there and you learn practical, like how to how you might need to diffuse it over here. There's maybe I like that reflection, maybe I don't like that reflection. Maybe maybe I need two lights, one to balance out the lighting on both sides, so it's here, so you get the same reflection on both sides. So I need one light here, or I don't want that at all. Let's just diffuse the whole thing, make it flat or whatever. It can be irritating. I remember I was doing that with these bottles, and I had this back. I don't think I had the right settings on my camera because it was the first time I used the Cinema 6K Pro for something like that, and I probably should have used it. I don't know. Anyways, it looked good, but maybe I expected too much from stupid camera or something. But I just did it all on a table, this big table that I brought in, and then just used that white background, and had some cool different ground and mats and stuff to make shine underneath, and tried out different variations of it. Some worked, some didn't. And my friend George, he worked for Amazon as a photographer for a while there too, and he said, he's just like, yes, I don't know what the fuck I was doing. I just had to move stuff around, get the perfect lighting. I was sitting there forever trying to not get this light to blink off of it, or it was just product photos. Full job, but at the same time frustrating.
Yeah. Some people have a whole studio setup for products, and like a big studio box or whatever for product photos and stuff. Yeah, that's a lot of people, they have might as well just be a portrait studio, except it's way more because they have way more things to mount things on, more mounting tools, and motors and things to just have things fall out in place, drop things in place. It's syncing it up to the flashes and at the same, getting the lighting at exactly the right moment, especially if you're using strobes and things like that. Yeah, I was doing some slow-mo video of the coffee beans falling. It was 120 frames per second. I thought it would be good enough. I couldn't up the shutter enough though, I think. And so I still got a lot of blur, and it wasn't slow enough. I think I need even more than 120 frames per second with those coffee beans to be able to see each bean individually fall, instead of just being a blurred mess when they fall. It's kind of tough.
They might look nicer when they bounce.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it might be a better idea to have it bounce or something, and have it a lower shot with it bounce, because just falling in front of the camera, they fall so quick that it's just kind of, you could see it, but there's still a blur behind it, so it's tough. And you need a lot of light for that. You could just glue threads on them and just marionette there, down,
Yeah. Just have them on a line and just well, yeah, but Yeah, maybe you just need to put the shutter up high. Yeah, 120 frames per second isn't as. It is slow-mo, but it's like now that we see it everywhere all the time, it's like it's not as slow as it could be.
Yeah. I know, like, I remember my old camera, the 7D, I think it only did 60 frames per second. So I was like, that was like the best slow-mo we had for back then.
Yeah, you could use Twixtor and like bump it up a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about Twixtor actually. Used to use that a lot actually for shots. I use that in the I had that Songkran video of is like the water fight in Thailand where I used Twixtor for like it was like people getting hit with water and I would like try to slow it down.
So you can see it like way more intense. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you should try it again though with like just way more light and a higher shutter.
Yeah.
And maybe you can get more detail. The thing about the 6K Pro is it can do 120, but it only like it's like HD or something.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the same with the Sony A6500. I think it's HD if it's 120 frames per second. It can't do 4K 120 frames per second.
I had a Canon 90D for a while, but I ended up selling it when I got this camera. I don't know why I did that because it was awesome. It was like having remember the Canon T3i?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like having that on steroids. It was an APS-C, but it had a 32 megapixel sensor. I shot 4K, 20 frames per second in HD.
Yeah.
It's like this. It was just an old school. It's just like it was like the original Canon T3i that I had back in the day. I remember buying the 70D, which is cool because it had the auto tracking and everything. And the 90D was just on steroids with it, and then it had this, and even the footage that came out of it for Canon, it was nice. And it's just, I don't know why I sold it because it was cool.
I kind of switched over, like, I haven't used Canon in a while. Ever since I switched I had a A7R2, and I really liked that one. And ever since then, I've kind of gone with Sony. So, I still have all my, like, old manual lenses, though, and I just adapt them to this camera. So, it's, I still have my old, what's it called, old vintage lenses. I have a few vintage Nikon lenses and the Helios lenses and stuff.
Yeah, they have nice character on them. They have just crazy bokeh and stuff on them as well. It's like, yeah, they have nice characters, old lenses. Just nobody makes them like that anymore.
Yeah.
Everything's super overly sharp now. Because no one's gonna make a blurry lens on purpose. Yeah, but I remember you used that Helios thing in a few shoots before. It looked cool. Did you shoot that when you did that Canucks video? Remember with Scram and the?
Well, yeah, I can't remember if I used that one. I might have.
Because I remember the color, like the texture around it looked all dreamlike and stuff on it.
Yeah.
Shot.
I know I used it with the 4 Villains shoot for a few shots in that, but our lighting was crap for that shoot. I wish we could go back and relight the whole thing. I actually upscaled the 4 Villains recently to 4K, and I uploaded it to my channel. And I had a guy comment saying, "When are the next episodes coming out?" I was like, "Sorry, dude. That was like 2011. I don't think we're going to be coming out with any more episodes." But yeah, it's if we could have reshoot some of that stuff with better lighting. Like, the lighting was just crap. It was just like, it was indoors, and then we didn't really have any lights set up, so we're just like, the dynamic range with those cameras back then weren't that great either. So
no, yeah, they weren't. No, it had to be like. But when it was nice though when things were lit though, because when things were lit, they're pretty good.